So aiming with the bow is easy, right? Because all you have to do is point the top of the arrow in the middle of a target and let it go, right? Well, not exactly, because the bow is actually a bit inaccurate, because when you happen to aim in the middle of the target and shoot, when the arrow will sometimes go a little bit to the right or to the left of the target depending on where you aim. And there's also a little bit of a sway when you aim. So this might not be a big problem when you shoot in medium or close range, but it will definitely be a problem when you shoot far away, because now your target will get smaller and that little sway will slightly get harder to control, and you can't really aim straight at the target because of the arrow doesn't go completely straight every time you send it flying. So you have to point the arrow slightly to the right in this situation to hit the target. So don't worry if you didn't understand this part, because this part was just about to warn you that the bow isn't 100% accurate, it's just a little bit inaccurate, and this actually makes sense in one way. So this part is just about to tell you that you don't need to get surprised if you were aiming straight at your enemy and the arrow passed the right side of his head. So I thought that this would be a little interesting detail in the game that you would need to know. So when you use the bow, remember to shoot the right side of the player when you run right. So aim slightly to the right of his body so he kind of runs into the arrow, because the arrow doesn't travel fast as the bullet. So do it something like this. And if he runs to the left side, then do the same thing as you saw, but then shoot him from the left side. But this was some sort of close medium range example, but if the player is really close to you, just shoot straight at him, like this. Then also remember that the further away your target is, then the higher you need to aim to hit him. So when it comes to far range, just learn from what I said in the first part of the video, and the same thing as I did in the medium fight, but now when you are further away from your target, you need to shoot more to the right of him if he runs right, and shoot more to the left of him if he runs in that direction. So aim higher and more to the left or right depending on how he moves. But I wouldn't blame you if you don't understand what I'm talking about right now, but the thing is that I have no footage of that. And I do apologize that this is like 2 fights that is repetitive, because this is the only 2 decent footage that I got of fighting on this server before it got shut down. So I got this video linked down below in the description so you can get a better understanding on what the hell I'm talking about. So remember that you need to practice in game to get a better understanding on how to use the bow, because that's the only way, so long as you don't have any hacks. For example, you will never learn to do a backflip if you just watch a person doing it and never trying it yourself, but the person you are watching can give you a better understanding on how to do it. And what I mean with this is that by watching other Rust YouTubers fighting in the game will give you a little better understanding on how to use the bow, but you still need to find it out yourself by trying it out and practice a lot. And then also listening to me, because right now, or I have already done, giving you a little better of understanding how to use the bow. So by moving around and shooting will make it harder for your enemies to hit you, and will sometimes confuse them, because you will be an easy target by just standing still and shooting or moving toward one direction only. So when I mean moving around, I mean jumping and crouching, moving to your left and moving to your right to avoid players hitting you, as you can see on the screen happening right now. This part of the video is about taking advantage of the world by simply finding objects that you can use as cover, or big rocks you can stand on and then shoot down on your players as they're trying to climb and get you. Then you can also climb up on roofs on your base or in other buildings in the game and shoot down from a roof, because then you're high up and you can easily locate where the enemy is, and the whole roof is covering you as long as the enemy can't see you. So be open-minded and find any objects that you can take advantage of, and then use your movements behind the object as you use it as cover against your enemy, and then you will create a daily advantage against your enemy. So when you use your object as cover, then start peeking fast from different spots behind your cover, and then jump on your cover to confuse your enemy and make him waste arrows or ammunition if he has a gun. Then you can peek quick from the different spots and hit him with your arrows, so remember to peek quick because you don't want to get hit. Also, the best times to strike your enemy is when he's reloading, because then he can't defend himself with the weapon, and you can take that to your advantage. When it comes to my movement on the screen, I know that they are not the best, but they are completely okay. But What I want you to do is that you do the same thing that I've shown on the screen, but you just do it faster and you show less of your body to reduce chances of getting hit. Then always try to get to cover before starting a fight, because fighting in the open against more people at the same time will pretty much end up with you getting killed, especially if the people you're fighting have guns. Fighting in the open like that, even if you're fighting against one guy, it is still very risky. Jumping and shooting with the bow can be very effective when you're really close to your enemy and you have mastered it, because it makes you available to shoot when you're in the air. Doing that, your enemy might just miss that arrow that would have killed you if you wouldn't have jumped, and your arrow that you set flying in the air killed your enemy. So it takes time to master it, and I haven't really mastered it me myself. So the way I do it is that I hold down right click and then I click space, and a half second as I leave the ground I left click. This is not something you will master after your first try, so good luck.